but it really was a foolish thing. So don't try it at home, especially tell your children not to. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Two Wheel Quest. Discover the world with me. Here in Scotland, these country roads it's very peaceful riding. You just don't feel stressed at all because there's no oncoming traffic or very little of it, and there's not a lot of traffic chasing you either. So when you step away from the motorway, you feel very good about it. And I'm also picking up some bad riding habits. Normally in any place when I'm riding, if I'm turning into a turn wherein there's oncoming traffic, what I do is I check for, like what anybody would do, would check for traffic if it is coming, if there's anything coming at you from the other lane. Then look in the rearview mirror and see if there's any traffic behind you that is likely to pass you by while you're trying to make a turn. So, and then make a turn once it's clear. But here what I do is I just look for oncoming traffic and then I turn to the right. And I don't even bother looking to the rear because the traffic here from the rear, coming from the rear, is so disciplined, or rather so peaceful, that they just keep in that lane. Even if you are slow, they will stick to your speed. They'll never try to overtake you, nor will they blink at you and try to push you out of the way, or by and large. So that's a bad habit to pick up, because if you carry this habit somewhere wherein it can be very dangerous if you don't do your checks prior to your turns. Also, so this morning I was on the A motorway, which is not like the B. There was a guy on a bicycle, a rather elderly person, and there was a truck following him, because this guy, the truck was not in a position to overtake him. So as I passed him, I realized that the truck was just keeping behind him, waiting for the right moment to overtake. And I think it had been behind him for quite some time by that time. So that is fantastic. I don't know what the guy on the bicycle was doing on a motorway, even if it's a smaller one, but at least that is. Now look at this. I'm standing here and it's red because it's a single carriageway, rather it's just a single lane. So we're waiting for the traffic on the other side to clear. There's nothing coming from there. So we're in a pretty remote part of Scotland, heading into the Highlands. I started from Market Harbour after leaving the dealer's place, refueled and then started off. So the plan is to head to Leeds. Now I have a friend there who I haven't seen in years. We went to college together. So I'll go drop in on him and his family and then spend maybe 2 or 3 days with him. I'm sticking to the B roads and the A roads. And it's very beautiful riding. I had an incident there, so I'll talk about it a little later. I have some work to do on the bike after I get to Leeds. This is the kind of motorway on which I had my fall. So parking was somewhat like this. So when you come up here, I was here, and then there were 2 lanes of traffic on this side and 2 lanes of traffic on the other side. And this lane where I was on, and from where I pulled into the parking spot, was actually behind after a curve. So people coming from the curve and straightening out wouldn't have much time to see me there. They would have a fraction of a second before they realize that there's somebody there. By the time they would have passed by, and most everyone would have gone on. If there had been a stretch of road before the parking spot, which was not a curve but was a flat, then I would have stood a better chance of being spotted while I'm on the ground. Maybe I should wear some very fluorescent yellow, bright colored clothing so you can be spotted easily in case there's a problem. That's probably a good idea. I was parked like this in the motorway, by the parking by the motorway. So I had pulled over, wanted to stop and just get off the bike and relax a little. Stopped here, there was a car parked right here, somewhere here. And I couldn't see anybody inside. It was just parked. I wasn't sure what was going on. But I was behind that car, stopped, and then I put my foot on the peg as usual to get off. Tried to swing my leg over. Next thing you know, the whole bike toppled over. It was because this piece had worked itself loose and was held together only by one bolt. The 3 remaining bolts had come off. Obviously the guy who did the job did a pretty shabby job, and then that sort of unbalanced the whole toe, and that must have been what happened. But it was really unfortunate. Next thing I know, I'm on the ground and my leg is caught under the bike, and the bike hit the curb. So there was a curb like this, slightly higher than this. So it hit the curb and trapped my leg between the curb and the bike. There I was. This was my position on the ground. The bike had fallen over and the engine part was here on my leg. The fairing had hit the curb and my leg was caught between the bike and the curb. So my boot was stuck there. I couldn't pull it out. I had the other leg free, but that's it. I had both my arms and my legs free, and I was okay. I mean, nothing was broken. I was sure there was no injuries because I could move my leg, no problem. But I couldn't pull it off. I couldn't push the bike up either. And the guy sitting in the car didn't have a clue what was going on behind him. So I just looked around, sat up, and started waving at passing traffic to see if I could get any help. I mean, it was terrible, really. It was kind of foolish. I initially thought I'd use this whistle. I have a whistle on my hydration pack, which I can use in a pinch. I take my helmet off. I have this whistle which I can use to call for some attention, but I was too embarrassed to use it. I mean, it's like really, I felt like a stupid idiot, which I was. But it really completely is not my fault because I was not used to the bike. It was totally new to me and all the shabby work that was done on it. Anyway, I kept doing this. Eventually, after about maybe 7, 8, 10 minutes perhaps, one guy passed by. He saw my predicament and he stopped his car, reversed, came up to the front of the other guy's car and got out of the car. Then he was asking the person through the windshield, the second person sitting in the car, asking him what is going on. He thought the guy in front was responsible for my position. So that guy also jumped out of the car. Obviously, he was on the phone, so he didn't know what was going on. So both of them came up together, came up to me and said, "Are you okay? Do you need an ambulance?" I said, "I'm fine. Can you just help the bike off my foot?" So they did that. Together, they pulled up the bike, and I got up. I dusted myself. This boot is really fantastic. It is not the first time that I've fallen off and got my leg trapped with this boot, but it's really held off. And I think the leg was saved or from any form of injury because of the boot. Plus the fact that the bike is light. But what happened to the bike? Let me show you. This is what happened to the bike. First, the clutch lever is bent. I had the guards on this. The GV guard, they're crap, I can tell you. These ones, they're really crap. They're just plastic. They're good for nothing. I'm really sorry I bought them. Anyway, that broke. That was gone. And even with the guard, this bent. So it's still, the clutch is fine, so I can still use it. It's not a problem. I'll get it replaced sometime. And the fairing's cracked. You can see here. This is all plastic. And here as well. See here as well. So both of these cracks, and then some scratches here and here. And something on this here. Other than that, no major damage from what I can see. So that is all the damage it sustained. All in all, a very interesting situation. But here's what I learned. First thing is, the angle of the stand here is actually very, very narrow. It's not very wide. So I need to be sure that it's firmly put on the ground before I can swing my leg over. Well, I've stopped swinging my leg over. Now I just pull it up like this and do it. And the other thing is this one here. That's actually a GV's extender or a toe footprint extender, which I put additionally, and that was the one that caused the problem because it's not put in right by whoever did the job. That's what caused the whole problem in my view, because it unbalanced it when I put it down. That I corrected it. I got myself 4 new bolts and bolted it myself. So that is a story of my first fall. Hopefully the last one.